Ron, you got a lot of friends?
No. A lot of acquaintances, but not a lot of friends.
That's a good distinction.
You can ask me too, Ron. Go ahead.
Brian, how about you? Do you have a lot of friends?
Are you my friend?
Most days.
Lauren, are you my friend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Daria?
Yes.
So is that a lot?
How many do you consider a lot?
I don't know. 3?
Three's at least a few. It's more
Yeah.
than a couple.
A
Yeah.
handful.
I mean, I've got a number of guys that I've spent some time with I'd like to get to know better, but I mean, how many really close friends do I have? Not many. Lauren, you've got like a couple of BFFs and everybody feels jealous of your deep relationships.
I don't think that's true.
Everybody being me.
I have 3 very close friends, and then I'm very close to my 2 sisters.
Okay. Daria, you probably have like all the friends.
I have a good friend in Worcester, and then my 2 I would consider my best friends. One's in Minnesota, the other's in Florida.
Yeah, mine aren't here either.
And you guys probably talk on FaceTime and cry together all the time and talk about your feelings.
No.
We talk about our feelings.
No,
We don't
she
cry
said
together.
no. You talk about your feelings, though?
Yeah.
So that's some sort of relational intimacy, right?
Mhm.
Ron, you talk to your buddies about your feelings and cry a little bit?
No.
No, me neither.
I rarely talk about feelings.
Well, we could take a break and you and I could just hold each other and share our feelings if that would make you feel better.
Rock back and forth.
Let's see. Is there a lock on this?
I'll be
door?
like, shh, Ron, it's okay. We're friends. Shh. Pat. It's okay, Ron.
No, thank you.
Well, there's
Poor Brian.
You've heard about perhaps the loneliness epidemic. I think everyone's heard of that by now. There's a growing friendship recession among men, according to PBS. Some interesting statistics, and we'll chat about the uniqueness. I know women struggle with loneliness and friends too, but the uniqueness of male loneliness here in just a moment. All right, so we've all heard about the loneliness epidemic. It's a thing. And so there was a PBS story that I got the transcript of, which is never fun to read a transcript of an interview or a group conversation.
You didn't listen to it?
No, I wanted to be very academic.
I mean, sometimes it is nice to read their comments so you don't have to write them down and stuff.
Yeah, I debated, but I wanted some of the statistics right in front of me. So let's look at the uniqueness from this article it says why a growing number of American men say they're in a friendship recession. So here it is. 20% of single men say now they don't have any close friends. None, 0. And more than half of men report feeling unsatisfied with the size of their friend groups.
Oh.
Are you surprised by that, Lauren?
I'm surprised that they're dissatisfied with the size of it.
Did you hear men most often going like, I don't have any friends and I'm fine?
Yeah.
Like Ron and I just did a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, how about this one? Only 21% of men in the U.S. say they get emotional support from friends every week.
Oh.
Women, the number, 41%. So we have a loneliness epidemic across the board in both genders.
Mm-hmm.
But women say that like 41% are like, yeah, I get emotional support from friends every week. Only 21% of men say that. Does that make you worried for your Eddie?
I don't think it makes me worried. I think I understand because I think women are more willing to share their emotions. And so then someone cares back once you share your emotions. Someone's going to care for you in that way.
Yeah, I'm also wondering, men and women are different, but I'm wondering how much of this is technically self-inflicted because men are either less likely or have been conditioned to not open up.
Mm.
Yeah, my sons have expressed to me I have 3 sons, you'll never know which one, have expressed to me like frustration that it's not acceptable for men to be emotional. And it's not fair.
Yeah.
Like they gratefully, at least we think we've created a safe environment for that at home. But there's frustration from my kids. Like, this is not fair. I think it's mostly conditioning, Daria. But you can verbally slap me on that. But I think it's primarily society doesn't want men to be vulnerable and emotional.
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
I mean, it was scandalous when I went into did a men's talk recently, and I didn't encourage all of us to go punch each other and go lift weights and camp.
Yeah. Go catch dinner and we'll cook it over a open fire.
Yes, we'll kill it first, actually, and skin it.
Skin it, gut it, all of that.
And none of you display any sort of nausea from such process because you're a man.
Take the blood of its heart and paint it across your cheeks.
I had a roommate in college. He went bow hunting for the first time and got one and got a deer. Got one. Clearly, I don't hunt very much. And he came busting in the front door, arm straight up in the air, holding a heart in his hand,
Ew,
blood dripping down his arm, as he was like, "Look what I got!" Then he like threw it in the sink and picked up the phone, grabbed the. I mean, there was blood all over the place.
Oh my!
I found that distasteful.
Yeah.
It's not cool, I guess. Now, to add to this, so men, no surprise, make up just under 50% of the U.S. population.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I felt outnumbered. Do you know they account for 80% of suicides?
Men?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
80%. So, I mean, not that anyone's competing for this, but I think it's safe to say that men are way more lonely than women. Stop me, Lauren.
I won't.
I mean, I think there's a loneliness epidemic across the board for all humans, but it seems like men, according to these statistics at least, again, you've got 80% of suicides are men, 41% of women saying they're getting emotional support every week. Only 21% of men say that. We got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Serious problem with male loneliness. There's a guy, this PBS news story highlighted a guy named Quincy Winston. He's 38 years old, Army veteran. He moved to Arizona. And we got there, his wife's like, I love hanging out with you, but you need some friends, buddy. You're both smiling. Have you ever felt that way before about your husbands? I mean, they're both pretty good about this, right?
Eddie's way more social than I am.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy's social outlet. He's got friends from all over the country that he's met through video games. He'll chat with them all the time, via games, play with his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of jealous, honestly.
Maybe it's us older folks around that don't play video games online.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, listen, you got to get out of here and you got to make some friends. And so he started what does he call it? He started I forget, it doesn't matter what it's called, but it's just a men's group essentially. Mm-hmm. He went to one of those meetup apps. I think it's actually called Meetup.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, I'm going to be at this restaurant at this time. If you're a guy that wants friends, show up. And like 10 guys showed up.
That's cool.
Wow.
And now the group who meets regularly, it's professional black men is the specific category of friends that are being built. Like 130 guys show up every week.
Wow.
Wow.
It's been pretty successful.
So his first meetup was specifically just professional black men, and he got 10?
I believe that was the case, yeah.
Wow.
My understanding.
Because that kind of narrows it down rather out of the pool of men to just professional men who are black men, But he got 10. That's great.
And I think PBS is pointing out that this shows as well the extent to which men are lonely.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it would have to be a group of looking for unprofessional, awkward men. White men. No, all men. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
What a risk, too. I don't think many guys would have the courage to do such a thing.
No.
It kind of reminds me of the Pina Colada song.
Yeah, where you put on a want ad.
Yeah.
But
But good for him. That's, like you said, that is a bold step.
So how do you think Christian men are going to solve this problem? Because I don't think we're an exception here. I would venture to guess that statistics for us do you think it's fair to say we'd be about the same? Or for some reason, would you jump in and go, no, I think Christian men are fine or better off?
I would say better off because most churches have some attempt at a men's ministry. So those who are desperately seeking friends at least know of one outlet there where they can go find friends. Beyond that, just the fact of church fellowship gives you the opportunity. You may not take it, but the opportunity is there, to make friends with those in the pew in front of you or behind you, or chairs if your church is so equipped. But, people that you worship with, you can actually get to know them and then take that friendship out of church onto lunch or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen men in church who work real hard at this. And I think you're right. I think we're better off. But I think we still probably have a significant number of men in churches who are feeling lonely.
I think they're about the same, honestly.
Okay, why would you say that? Why would you disagree with Ron Eastwood?
Because I think just men problems are men problems, and it doesn't matter what. In a lot of cases, I don't think it matters what your religious background is. I think even men in church are a little bit less inclined to reach out, and this is kind of exclusive to my church, but I have noticed it at other places. There's a huge push to reach out to the women, which is great. I think they're like, oh, for decades, women have been pushed on the back burner in church, so now we got to overcompensate. And at my church specifically, there's a lot of stuff for women and not as much stuff for men. And I've noticed that this other places as well. And that's great that your experience has been different, Ron. But I have noticed that men still get left out a lot.
No, I would agree, but I would say for decades at least, there have been 3 to 4 women's events for every male event.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
And
no, I think that's
it's just
true.
always that way at church. There's more women who come to church, so therefore more women's ministry, Bible study, etc.
Yeah, and I think people often blame women and extroverts, right? It's like, our church is just for women and extroverts. I think I've said that before.
Yeah, I bet you have.
I don't know that that's a necessarily completely fair assessment either. I'm still convinced increasingly, the more I follow Jesus, that it's really our messed up view of manhood that's ruined this for men. Like the way we teach manhood is some sort of awkward, I don't know, Fabio type thing or Arnold Schwarzenegger type thing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's this awkward, like, be tough, be strong, fight, punch, camp.
Leo out of The Revenant.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Go and eat a raw animal somewhere in the woods while you're lost.
Yeah.
And
You're
cold.
lost.
And that's just, I don't see any biblical precedent for that at all. I see a very different biblical precedent for it. But the longer we perpetuate this awkward view of manhood, I think the longer we're going to have men who are lonely. And so lonely they're taking their own lives.
Didn't the disciples like lay in Jesus' lap or something like that?
It was John that reclined on his chest.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if somebody walked in the station and during a break I was leaning my head against Ron's chest? Ron is like, please don't. But yeah, I don't know. I feel sad about it. Like I did my little teaching on manhood, which at some point maybe I'll have to cover that here on the show. But it's, the basics of it are, Jesus did address a small group of men, and he told them 3 times what he wanted them to do when he's gone. And it was in his farewell discourse. So he had 11 men after Judas left. And it was in a short period of time. It was from the upper room on his walk to the Garden of Gethsemane. 3 times he told them, here's what I really want you to do is a brand new commandment. Love one another. As men cringe in the men's group. Like, he told a group of men to love one another. That's manhood. Wait, but where's the camping? Where's and he didn't go, love one another. Quick, give me 20. Quick, be tough. 20 push-ups. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to fix this problem until we can fix our reactionary view of Christian manhood. But that's just me.